Welcome to another episode of Baking with Natalie. I'm Natalie, and today I'm making chocolate raspberry layer cake. So follow along if you would like. I've left the recipe in the description box. It's a good recipe. I've made this cake prior, and it turned out okay. It was very sweet. The presentation was bad because by the time I got to doing the frosting, it was like 7 p.m. and I started in the morning. So I was just a crazy lady and I just couldn't take it anymore.
What'd you say?
It was very sweet and chocolatey, so the people who don't like chocolate in my family, they don't like this cake. But I'm making it for my mom for Mother's Day and she wanted it, so it's all for her. But I've learned my lesson. We're gonna split it up into 2 days. So today we're gonna focus on the raspberry filling part, and then tomorrow I'll make the actual cake and we'll frost it and it will be amazing and it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get started on the raspberry filling. First, I have a medium small saucepan that I have getting on to medium heat, and I'm gonna pour a 1/4 cup of sugar into the pan with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, just 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of water. We have our 1/4 cup of sugar, tablespoon of cornstarch, and 2 teaspoons of water, and I'm gonna mix it over medium, high, until the sugar is melted. I would classify that this has a wet texture, so I'm going to add the raspberries in. 2 cups of washed raspberries into the bowl. I'm going to stir that up, and we're going to cook this down a little bit before we fully mash them up. I'm mashing up the raspberries with my spatula, and I'm gonna cook this until the juice begins to thicken, and then I'm gonna strain all the seeds out because I would prefer the seeds not be in the filling. Well, it's been about 5 minutes and this is what it's looking like. It smells really nice. It is a little bit thicker than it was, but it's still not that thick. I think we might just strain it. And put it in a bowl. And I have my strainer in my bowl.
Wow, this is a really great angle. I'm really glad you can see what's going on right here.
Alright, this is my strained liquid. You still have some seeds, but not as bad as it was prior. This is not super thick, so I added about 1/4 teaspoon of cornstarch, and now I'm gonna put it in this Tupperware so it can cool. Ta-da! I'm gonna clean up my station now so that it's clean for me tomorrow when I make an even bigger mess. And this was Friday, Natalie, and now you'll be seeing Saturday, Natalie. Take it away, Saturday, Natalie. Thanks, day 1, Natalie. It's day 2, so that means we're making the cake today. I have my bowl here and all my dry ingredients, so they're going to go into this bowl. I pre-measured everything so I could try to cut down on time, and hopefully this works. And I cut the sugar down a little bit because this cake was very sugary last time I had it. So I just did like 3/4 of the amount. We're gonna mix this up. Okay, the dry mixture is completely mixed together, so we're gonna move on to the wet ingredients and we're gonna combine it all in this smaller bowl. All right, we're gonna get our oil. It's splotchy because I used the same measuring cup for the milk, so don't be weirded out. It looks a little nasty. We have our milk, and we're using 2 eggs. Oh, great. I promise I'm usually better at that. Second one going in. There we go. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. We're gonna mix this up. Perfect. We have our wet and we're going to pour it into the dry mixture. We're gonna incorporate this. I'm gonna try not to make a mess. And I'll see you when it's completely mixed together. I just heated up a cup of hot water and I'm gonna slowly incorporate this little by little. Okay, that was a lot. Okay, let's add the last bit of it. And this is a really watery batter, so I'm hoping this is all the right measurements. Wow. All right. Let's pour these into the prepped cake pans. And the third one's gonna be kind of thin. I tried to even them out a little bit more. I don't remember if that really looked this liquidy, but we're putting them in anyways. All right, those will go in. We'll do 20 and then we'll check on them. While I'm waiting for the 20-minute timer to go off, I'm gonna clean up my bowls and my utensils because I'm gonna need some of them to make the frosting and ganache. Oh, I wanna check on my raspberry filling. Let's go do that. Found it. That's not thick, babe. That's not thick, babe. That is not thick. This has been in the fridge for 24 hours. It's probably my fault. I definitely did not reduce it long enough. Oh well. Time to take them out. I'm just gonna take my little frosting knife I have and I'm gonna, I'm scared, I don't like this part. Okay, here we go. Ah! No big deal. Okay, I'm just gonna do the same thing with the other two cakes. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh. Can you see it on the camera? It's like really uneven. Okay, I'm just gonna do the last one real quick off camera. All right, we're getting started on the frosting. I have 3 sticks of room temperature softened butter and I'm gonna put them all in here and I'm gonna beat until smooth. My butter is whipped, so I'm gonna add melted chocolate, just about 1/3 of it at a time, just so it can all get incorporated. Okay, I'm gonna add the rest of this chocolate, mix it up, and I'll be right back. It's fully chocolatey, and now I'm gonna add more chocolate. This time, this is dark chocolate cocoa powder. So I'm gonna add this in, and I'm gonna mix it on low to try and prevent cocoa powder from spilling everywhere. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna finish this off camera, and I'll be back when I'm making the ganache and we're gonna assemble the cake. I'm heating up the whipping cream to put in my chocolate chips to make the ganache. I just poured the hot, heavy whipping cream onto these chocolate chips, and you have to let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes before you can stir it up. So I'm waiting. Here we go. A beautiful ganache. I have my buttercream. I'm gonna pipe a blockade of frosting around the outside so no ganache or raspberry filling reaches the outside. Now we're gonna take some of the ganache and we're gonna layer it. All right. Then we're gonna add some of the raspberry liquid, I guess, to the middle. We'll see how this goes. Actually, I'm gonna be pretty generous with this since it's only going on the cake twice. Hopefully the cake above it will soak up some of this juice, because it's definitely not supposed to be this liquidy. All right, moving on quickly from that, we're gonna continue that pattern for the next piece, and then we're gonna put the top layer on and do the crumb coat. Okay, it's assembled. It's a little bit lopsided, but now we're gonna do the crumb coat. So I'm gonna, I guess, do it like this so I can get all that frosting in those bits. I don't really know what I'm doing. I feel like for a crumb coat, it's better to start with some more frosting than you think you would need, and then you can always, you know, scrape it on the bowl to get it off. Or maybe better to start with less frosting. I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. All right, now let's do the sides. I'm just gonna do this right now. Okay, this is my first time using this. Ooh, okay. Okay, the crumb coat looks pretty good. You can't really see the sides, but I think this is the best crumb coat I've ever done. Sorry for the squeaky little wheel. I was giving this time to harden because I'm gonna cover it and put it in the fridge overnight because I'm not gonna frost it tonight. I didn't think this was gonna be a 3-day thing, but now it is gonna be. So take it away, day 3, Natalie. Happy day 3 of this cake. Today we'll be doing the decorative frosting part. So I have to wait for the frosting to come to room temperature. I just pulled it out of the fridge, so it's gonna be a little bit, but I'm gonna re-whip it up and then we'll get in a piping bag and make the cake look all nice and pretty. I decided to listen to music while filming this part, so here I am doing a little voiceover. The point of this part is to add extra frosting on top of the crumb coat so you can't see any of the cake poking through the frosting. So I add a little bit on the top and on the sides, and I use that bench scraper tool to make everything smooth and look nice so that I can add the piped frosting on top. I decided to do this swirl piped frosting at the bottom of the cake to hide any mistakes that were made during the crumb coat and side frostings. Then I put the rest of the ganache on the top of the cake to also hide any mistakes that were made. You see a pattern here. And then I added this piped frosting to match the bottom of the cake. Not to hide any mistakes because I did make some mistakes while frosting this that are not hidden. But then I decided to add those raspberries on top. I thought it looked really nice and really cute. I'm gonna let it sit for like 10 minutes so the frosting gets hard, and then I'm gonna cover it and put it in the fridge until we gotta go. And I'm really excited to cut it open and see how the raspberry filling is gonna be going in there. We'll see. Alright, I'm here with the verdict of this cake. I would say I would rate myself about an 8.5. With the presentation and how it tasted. The only thing that I'm disappointed with was how the raspberry filling turned out. It was not very thick. Even though not everything turned out the way I wanted it to, the cake was still really good, and I would recommend it. And I would recommend anybody to go out in the kitchen and bake something delicious, because then you get to eat a sweet treat right at your house and you don't have to go anywhere. And yeah. So I'll see you in the next video that's on this channel. I don't know when that will be, but it'll be sometime. So bye.